Welcome to Beyond the Classroom. I'm Oorvazi Irani. Every generation asks the same question: how do we educate children to succeed in the world? But today's thinker asked a far more uncomfortable question: what if the very education that prepares us for the world also prevents us from understanding ourselves? That question lies at the heart of the educational philosophy of J Krishnamurti, one of the 20th century's most original thinkers. Who was J Krishnamurti? Perhaps the better question is, what was he asking us to see? Born in India in 1895, Krishnamurti was groomed by the Theosophical Society to become the world's next spiritual teacher. Yet, at the height of that expectation, he rejected every title, every authority, and every organized path to truth, declaring simply, truth is a pathless land. From that moment, his life's work became an invitation, not to follow him, but to understand ourselves. He believed that the roots of fear, conflict, and division are not only in society, but within the human mind. For Krishnamurti, education was therefore not the accumulation of knowledge, but the awakening of awareness. Only by understanding ourselves, he believed, could we hope to transform the world. What is the problem with modern education? Krishnamurti believed that modern education had become highly effective at producing knowledge, but not necessarily intelligent human beings. Schools teach mathematics, science, history, and languages, but do they teach us to understand fear, loneliness, ambition, jealousy, or the constant habit of comparing ourselves with others? For Krishnamurti, these were not peripheral concerns, they lay at the very heart of education. He argued that if the mind remains fearful, conditioned, and divided, no amount of academic achievement can create either an intelligent individual or a peaceful society. Thus, what is the purpose of education? In 1926, he concentrated his efforts on education. For Krishnamurti, the purpose of education is not merely to prepare us for a career or to fill the mind with knowledge. It is to help us understand ourselves. For he believed that only in understanding oneself can there be true intelligence. To understand ourselves, we must first see how deeply we are conditioned. From childhood, our families, schools, religions, cultures, and society shape the way we think. We inherit beliefs about success and failure, ambition, identity, and even who we think we are, often without ever questioning them. Krishnamurti was not asking us to reject society. He was asking us to become aware of this conditioning, because only in that awareness can there be freedom. Education must, of course, equip students with knowledge and skills to live and contribute to society. But if it ends there, it remains incomplete. Without understanding oneself, knowledge can become destructive. A brilliant scientist may create weapons, a gifted politician may become corrupt, and a successful entrepreneur may remain inwardly restless. For Krishnamurti, education fulfills its highest purpose when knowledge is joined with awareness and learning becomes a lifelong inquiry into oneself. What is the role of the teacher? Krishnamurti transformed the role of the teacher. A teacher is not an authority who simply imparts knowledge or molds students into predetermined ideas or ideals. Instead, teacher and student become partners in inquiry, learning through shared observation, dialogue, and discovery. The classroom is no longer a place where answers are delivered, but a space where understanding unfolds. The teacher's greatest responsibility is to create a climate of trust, curiosity, and psychological freedom. Because for Krishnamurti, the deepest learning begins only when the mind is free from fear. Why Krishnamurti matters today? Krishnamurti's ideas feel more relevant today than ever. We live in an age of endless information, constant comparison, and rapidly advancing artificial intelligence. Facts are instantly accessible, yet attention, self awareness, and deep listening have become increasingly rare. These are precisely the qualities Krishnamurti believed education should cultivate. His philosophy reminds us that the greatest challenge of the 21st century is not learning how to acquire more knowledge or information, but learning how to understand the mind that uses it. I'd like to leave you with one final question inspired by J Krishnamurti. If education teaches us everything about the world, but very little about ourselves, have we truly been educated? Perhaps the future of education depends not on what we teach, but on whether we help young people understand the mind that will shape the future. Thank you for joining me in Beyond the Classroom. I'm Oorvazi Irani, and I look forward to exploring another great educational thinker with you in the next episode.